All right, let me double check here. Yeah. Welcome to the Wake and Bake Podcast. It's Monday. I'm Quentin. I'm a Charger fan. That's Pete. He's a Patriots fan.
Good morning.
We talk about football in the morning while we bake, cook egg. I cook eggs. He bakes. He's laminating dough over there for these awesome croissant rolls I'm about to throw in the oven. In our little coffee shop bakery here. As always, if you haven't, if you enjoyed tuning in here, please like and subscribe. That's what they say the algorithms like. So, we want the algorithms to like us. Okay? We definitely do.
So that when the robots take over.
Leave a comment. You know what? Even if it's a bad comment, I would say leave me shitty comments. Go ahead and do it. Because some kind of engagement is better than no engagement. Maybe I should just say a bunch of things that piss everybody off. Maybe that's what this podcast should be about.
There's enough of that in the world.
There's enough of that in the world, yeah. I don't need to do that. The world has got plenty of outrage porn for everybody to click on and engage with and be outraged with. That's nonpartisan. That's a nonpartisan statement, by the way. Plenty of outrage to go around.
It's the off season. Can't be outraged during the off season.
We'll get outraged with our teams here. That's right. No, that's not true, Pete. I'm kind of upset this morning, actually.
I was much more outraged last off season than this offseason.
I'm actually, this was a subject. Yes, you had a lot of reason to be outraged. Like, what is going on here?
This off season, I'm feeling a lot better.
Yeah. I would too if I were you. Got Big Vrabel.
Yeah.
Big Vrabel in the house. Doing what he does. Oh, I need water. I'm upset this morning because... Have you gotten reports from your mini camp? Because it was like rookie mini camp this week, right?
It was. This weekend, there was a 3-day rookie mini camp. They had great attendance. It was still mostly, just kind of going over the system with the new guys, getting the new guys in the system. I actually didn't find as many reports, like direct reports about the Patriots as I found about other teams. So.
Yeah, we only had like one article. I had like one article on the Chargers camp.
Yeah.
There's not a whole bunch of articles available. I mean, the biggest thing. So I guess most rookie mini camps, what the typical format for football teams is essentially they bring all these rookies in and they try and do like 11 on 11. So they do like an install. Okay, these are the plays we're going to try to run and whatnot. And then they set them out there and it's like, all right, go. Let's see what you got.
Yeah. And because with the draft picks and the UDFAs and just kind of guys they bring in, there's really only like 10 or 15 guys who have a chance of making the team, and the rest of them are just filled out with bodies.
Yeah. So Harbaugh decided to rethink that. Like, what are we trying to get out of this? What will help us the most? And he was like, well, this is about talent evaluation. Like, we want to find the diamonds. Matter of fact, that's what he was using in his press conference. He's like, oh, we're digging for gold, looking for diamonds. So they redesigned their whole mini camp around talent evaluation, and they decided that 11 on 11s doesn't necessarily do that. He has a pretty good point. It's pretty insightful. I like it. I think he's really smart about it, and that he's like 11 on 11 just tells you who learned the system the fastest, not necessarily who the best player is, who has the most talent. So we designed drills, so it was drill based. No 11 on 11s. Just little to no, I believe, one-on-one type stuff.
Yeah.
It was just like drill challenge oriented work.
Just physical ability.
Skill drills and things like that. Just whatever, they're trying to. And then even more so, he was like some of the UDFA, I mean, the people they drafted, he was like, the people we drafted, wasn't that important that they do it. We do, because he's like, we've seen them do that. That was the draft process. Like, we know these guys really, really well. That's why we drafted them.
They have those numbers from the combine and from the...
Yeah, like, so he's like, it's basically, but all these other people,
Right. Guys who didn't get drafted didn't do it.
He's like, the tryouts and the UDFAs, like, he's like, it's for those guys. He's like, matter of fact, if we focus attention on just the draft picks, like, we're doing these other guys a disservice. So the idea was to have a focus on, I'm waiting for it to come down. Because we're cooking at 300, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I let the oven get way too hot.
Yeah.
I've even opened it up a little bit.
It's okay.
So, I mean, the whole thing was really designed around how do we give everybody the fairest playing field possible for a talent evaluation. Because he was talking too, he's like, we've got guys that were on the practice squad last year. He's like, those guys know a lot of information. They have an unfair advantage in a lot of, like, especially if we do something 11-11 based, like, these guys already know what to do.
Right.
So, I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting.
Harbaugh's statement was, he was like, this rookie mini camp is going to be different than anything I've ever seen anyone else doing. He's like, as far as I know, nobody else has tried this or is doing it like this. Like, so this is going to be different. So we'll see what we get from it. But we felt he told a story about his mother when she would cook Easter ham, like she would chop like a third of the ham off. And so finally his mom was like, called her mom and was like, hey, why do we do that?
This is the way we do it.
And her mom was like, I don't know. I got that from your grandma. Let me call her. So she called, it's his great grandmother she was like, why do we chop a third of this? You know, why do we do this? She goes, oh, the ham was too big for our oven. So I had to do that. So it was something that got perpetuated. Like, oh, this is the way you cook a ham.
Yeah.
In his family for 2 generations. And it was just because the oven was too small. There wasn't any culinary benefit to it.
Right. It's just broke.
So, you know, he was like, we just decided, like, is there, you know, should we be doing it this way? Like,
Just because
what are
it's
we
the way
after
it's
here?
been done.
Is this the best way to do it just because everybody is doing it this way? Like, that being,
I feel
go
like
ahead.
that's one of those old common parables that great coach that he is took it as his own.
Yeah. But so offensive line. Starting O-line started doing work out there. Guess who's in heavy rotation at center?
Big Z,
Huh?
Zion. No.
Well, yeah, Zion is getting snaps. He's splitting snaps, but guess who he's splitting snaps with? Not Andre James. Bradley Bozeman.
Right. 'Cause he was a starter last year.
Yeah. So I'm pretty upset that Bozeman is not like sitting. I'm pretty upset that Bozeman is getting any starting snaps. That's what I'm really upset about. I don't.
Because you want him to move on from Bozeman entirely.
Yes. I just do not want. I want to see. I was hoping it was going to be Andre James and Zion splitting starting center snaps, and Bozeman working in at guard. That's what I would like to see more than anything. I don't know. For some reason, I trust Bozeman as a guard more than I do a center.
Maybe he doesn't have the body type to be a center. Maybe he's too big.
Who?
Bozeman. I don't know what his.
He's a huge center. He's a big
Attributes,
dude to be a center.
Okay.
I'm just like terrified that I have to watch another season of Bozeman and Zion doing the same shit that they did last season. Oh my God. I will be really, really, really upset if that happens. Like truly. Like, 'cause to me that was just, I mean, I was talking with my friend Brian about it. Like, I was just like, that's my nightmare. It's my nightmare. I can't watch that again.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want the most glaring hole that you saw on the team being that guard, center, interior, offensive line
Same thing, yeah.
to just not have been
I mean, maybe it's
touched at all
possible. I mean, maybe
the
it's
offseason.
possible these two guys could fix whatever the fuck was going wrong. You know, the first season.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you didn't fix it in season, like you just got to move on. You know?
Well, also, I mean, Bozeman, they're both veterans. Like, they are who they are. You're not
Yeah.
getting much more out of either one of them.
That's what I'm saying. They are who they are. Like, you got to accept them for who they are.
I mean, because coaching will make the players better and mature. But, like, I feel like just taking two guys who weren't good enough last year and swapping positions is not going to make them not going to do enough at making the overall offensive line better.
I don't know. And I mean, Andre James might be sitting behind Zion and Bozeman just for the reason that he's the new guy. I do think Harbaugh and his line coach, I think it's Devlin. You know, there's an honor code there. Like, hey, new guy's just not going to just walk in and take your job. I mean, unless it's Mekhi Becton. That's what happened to Trey Pipkins and Jamari Sawyer.
Right.
Like, they signed Mekhi Becton, and that guy's going to be starting at right guard. I mean, specifically in Harbaugh, so Harbaugh was asked specifically about Zion and that whole thing.
Right. Since that's been everyone's burning
And
question.
so he was like, Zion and Bradley are rotating at center. And he's like, that's probably the way it's going to be. He's like, we're a long way from assigning permanent, you know, making decisions on the starting lineup.
Yeah, the depth chart is far from
He's like,
fixed.
we're playing around with it. That's the rotation we have going now. And that could change over the course of the next few months. Because we do have months.
Right.
We do have months till the season. So, but he was saying, in regards to Zion specifically, he said from a technique standpoint, he was like, Zion, from a technique standpoint, he's like, he's one of our best. He's like, he's up there with Slater and all, like, one of the best guys we have on our line, technique-wise. And then he also specifically said, intelligence-wise, he's like, he might be he might be the smartest guy we've got on the line.
Does he just not lift or what?
So I don't.
Get in the weight room, Johnson.
I mean, we've heard that from like some of the beat writers, like, you know, Popper but this is coming out of the head coach's mouth. Like, this guy's super smart. I mean, it seemed to me like he really, really liked Zion, although they did not pick up his 5th-year option.
Like, we like you at league minimum.
What's that?
We like you if you're willing to play at league minimum.
We like everybody willing to play at a league minimum. It's true. That is true. Ortiz sure does like it. We will see. So that's what a lot of like the chatter that's going on is like Chargers are like, oh man, even the Chargers weekly podcast, they do like a weekly podcast put on by the actual Chargers.
Yeah.
Which is done by Matt Money Smith, and Matt Money is like the radio play-by-play guy for the Chargers.
Right.
And love Matt. I think he has really good. I mean, outside of Daniel Popper, who's the beat writer for the New York Times, like I think Matt Money, which he's paid by the team. But I value his input. Like he gives good takes. He's not this guy's been calling football for a long time. Like he knows a lot about football. He's not I don't think he's like straight team shill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he'll offer up fair enough criticism about a facet of the team or whatnot. He doesn't try to paint over. He'll acknowledge things are an issue. He'll be like, yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I'm concerned about that issue. I think this is what they're going to do about it. I don't know. I mean, obviously, he does talk to people in the building. So he knows a lot more than he can talk about.
Right.
But actually, that's probably what got me more alarmed than anything that was happening at training camp. Yeah, Bozeman was taking snaps at center, rotating with Zion, and Andre James was practicing with the second team. But Matt Money was like, yeah, it looks like Bozeman's the starting center for the year.
Yeah.
I think he actually specifically said, like, if I was going to bet money who's going to be taking the starting snaps to start the season, it's going to be Bozeman. And I was like, fuck! I was like, no!
Bet himself.
I'm like, shut up, Money! Stop with that! God dang it, no! Do not say that. I don't want to believe it. I still can't. Well, hey, look, actions speak louder than words, okay? If Harbaugh and Ortiz were happy with Bozeman being the starting center, Zion would not be taking starting snaps at center.
Right.
What actions tell me here is Bozeman's like, I can do better. Give me a chance not to lose my starting slot. And I think they said, fair enough. We'll let you compete.
Good agent.
So, and you know what? To in Bozeman's defense, it is the right thing to do. He played every fucking snap last season, okay? Every snap. He had the most snaps of every O lineman on the team.
Yeah.
He earned it.
I mean, if he played the whole season
He
that.
earned, you know, and he may be near the end, you know, of his. This is probably going to be his last contract. He knows that. They know that. You know, like, give me a chance to just hold it down for one more year. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel like if he was as bad as you think he is, they would have drafted a center in the 3rd round.
I agree. I agree with that statement. They obviously do not think he's as bad as I think he is.
Yeah. So.
And they would know better than I do.
Yeah, you want to be one of those.
It's not like they're NFL coaches and I'm just some coffee shop fan in San Diego here with the podcast that nobody watches or listens to.
Just another unknown podcaster who thinks he knows more than Jim Harbaugh. Man, you're a dime a dozen.
Yeah. What do I know? I can tell you the film I watched last season on All 22 was, like I said, at the end of the day, I don't know who was supposed to do what. All I know is what wasn't supposed to happen.
It was a loss.
Yes. What wasn't supposed to happen is a free rusher come flying through the line and sacking our quarterback on 3rd down. Not just once, but like twice in a row. And like linemen going, "Where's my guy? Where's my guy?" Like standing there like this. Like I'm watching this on film.
Yeah. I got this gap, guys.
Yeah, I got this. Let me get this space of air here while this guy comes flying through right next to me and crushes my QB. And it's like, it's always that gap between Bozeman and Zion, okay? It is always the gap between Bozeman and Zion. It's not the gap between Bozeman and the right guard. It's the gap between Zion and Bozeman.
Well, you know, is the right guard that much better, or does Bozeman have a bad eye? Maybe
I don't know, dude.
Maybe he can't see out of his left eye.
I don't know. So that came out of training camp. That's the Chargers' big hubbub. Oh, hey, we got NFL news too, by the way. Did you see the NFL news? You got paid. I mean,
what do you got? What do you got?
I asked you about the Patriots. You're like, yeah, nothing really coming out of there. There's nothing to glean from. Come on, enlighten the Patriots fans on the podcast here, okay? Is there anything to enlighten them about?
Not really. Just that the Jets are going to be worse than last year. But I read more about the Jets this weekend than I did about the Patriots.
What's that?
I read more about Aaron Glenn doing his rookie mini camp with the Jets.
You read more about Aaron Glenn?
Yeah, because there wasn't really any. I couldn't find an article about the Patriots.
What did you read about Aaron Glenn? Was it the Rodgers thing?
No, I mean it was him instilling his system on the rookies in rookie mini camp there.
Oh, okay.
So it's the beginning of the Aaron Glenn system.
The Detroit way?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
It was very silent. He was just
Huh?
doing a lot of walking around and observing and letting his position coaches coach.
Did you see Derek Carr retired?
Oh, officially?
Yeah,
The injury ended him?
he retired.
Yeah.
He announced retirement this weekend, like on Saturday. That's kind of crazy.
That is. So it wasn't going into the draft like we kind of need a quarterback.
No, he retired.
Derek Carr might not play.
Nobody was talking about that. That he might retire. Like
Right.
that, it was that bad. Everybody, even like all the pundits were like, oh, the Saints knew about this situation. Like, they've known about it.
I mean, they probably did. But it really just speaks to how much nobody liked, especially in New Orleans, obviously.
Shador?
The quarterback class as a whole, like,
Well, didn't the Saints got Show, right? So or whatever?
yeah, Tyler Show in the second or third round.
Who is, I mean, the thing about him, everybody said he's the most NFL ready of all the prospects. Like, he was the oldest, played
Yeah.
the most games.
Other than Cam Ward.
Yeah. So Kellen Moore came out and was like, yeah, it's an open QB competition over here, man.
That's another way of saying we don't have a QB.
Yeah, we don't have a QB.
We're fielding QBs currently.
We're interviewing QBs.
You guys know any
You know.
interested in the position?
So here's really interesting. Rodgers is still available.
Yeah, which now that just like
So now
really messes with Pittsburgh's plans because now it allows him to bend them over.
Yeah. Are the Saints going to go after Rodgers like the Steelers? Like because the Saints are in Steelers camp now. Like, we don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Arguably the two teams that have the worst QB situation right now.
I mean, Pittsburgh has a playoff-ready roster outside of the QB. I don't know that you could say that about New Orleans.
I agree. I don't know that I mean, it's a new coaching regime,
Yeah.
you know? So they get a year to figure it out. But the Steelers, yeah, they made the playoffs last season. Like,
Well, and they have Steelers have some crazy.
they are a QB away from competing for Lombardis.
Well, they have the longest number of years above 500.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
I think
Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing teams.
Tomlin has never finished under 500. I believe that's his claim to fame. That's why he's untouchable.
Yeah.
Because despite the QB problems, they have never finished under 500. Which is not something Bill Belichick can say, actually.
It's true. To be fair, he couldn't say that before the Patriots, so.
Not many coaches can say that. Yeah, Saints, dude. Saints and Steelers. I think the Saints, it's a new coaching regime. Like, who cares? Like, culture-wise, he can start. You give your rookie time to get up to speed. It's win. Right?
Yeah.
What do you do? What's best for the team, you think, if you're head coach, if you're Kellen Moore? Maybe I do. I just want to start my rookie. Like, start getting them NFL starting reps.
I mean, coming out of this, I mean, the Patriots just did this exact scenario. Well, not really. They had a top end rookie quarterback, not a third round rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But it was the same talking points in spring training of, do you start the rookie day one, or do you let the veteran start and give the rookie a few games to learn? And there's arguments on both sides. I would say with the Saints' current situation, you might as well let the rookie start, because there's certainly benefits to giving him more game reps.
I agree. I mean, because it's Kellen Moore's first year, like, he kind of gets a freebie there, right?
I mean, don't say that. Don't say that in earshot of Gerard Mayo.
I mean, they get. I think Gerard Mayo would have got, if there was anybody besides Vrabel on the market. Gerard Mayo is the head coach again. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
1,000%. This was just conditions. Kraft goes like shit.
Yeah. But now, I mean, in New Orleans, where your veteran QB who you would have starting over the rookie is only, Rattler's a sophomore?
Yeah, see, Spencer Rattler, like the Spencer Rattler experiment, like, everybody's like, yeah, that's not the guy.
How much is the rookie show learning from the second-year guy who's not that good to begin with? Whereas Jacoby Brissett was an 8-year, 10-year veteran who's played for a bunch of teams. Maybe he's not as good as other starters. Obviously, he's a career backup, but like...
I think the example of Herbert and Tyrod Taylor is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because Herbert came in and he wasn't supposed to start the season. And then Tyrod got hurt. And he just went in there, and there was no, like, that was it.
But even that, Tyrod was like a 5-year veteran at that point. Like, way more experience than Rattler.
I just think that rookie has a chance to, if he is the guy, like, he has a chance to supersede somebody with experience really quick. Like, I don't think Herbert needed to learn a lot from Tyrod Taylor. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, he was a top 5 pick. Like,
so, you know, maybe, and that was the thing about is that he has a lot. He had a lot of experience starting. You guys played a lot of ball. So, they may have like no interest in Rodgers. Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Rodgers got the Belichick treatment, where he's just forced into retirement. He'll spin it so that he wasn't, that it was his decision, but that nobody really wants him.
Yeah.
Even though he's, a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah.
But, which is exactly what happened with Bill Belichick.
I agree.
Your time is done. Your way is not the current way anymore.
Yeah, people just are just.
We're gonna go a different direction. Everybody is going a different direction.
The
I'll tell you what's going to look really bad on Aaron Rodgers if Aaron Glenn ends up being a really good head coach, and more specifically, they have a big turnaround this next year as his rookie season. It's going to look really bad on Aaron Rodgers.
oh yeah.
Because that team, the rest of that roster is a lot worse.
If you were to sign odds that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get a job this season, what would you give it?
At this point, I would say 60-40 that he doesn't get a job. I think chances are
So
better.
60% that he does not get a job.
I think chances are better that he does not get a job.
So a slight edge.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't think I would move that at all. I think that's a good. I agree.
I think, yeah, you know,
It's a
everyone
slightly
was
better
saying
chance he does. He's not working.
They
Yeah.
were kind of waiting for the draft to happen before anything happened. But I think going into this draft, everybody kind of knew that nobody outside the Titans were getting their next year's starter. You know, like 100%. So how much was the draft really moving that needle on whether he was going to sign with somebody or not? I don't think it was.
I mean, even you know what? Actually, speaking of that, the Titans, Will Levis.
Yeah, he's now on the market.
Is he done?
To get moved? I mean, I feel like he's one of those
You think-
career backup guys.
I think the Titans are bringing in their new guy, and they're going to make those two guys compete for the starting job. I don't think Cam Ward is necessarily walking into the starting slot.
I think he is. I don't think you take a guy number one and don't hand him the keys.
Oh my God! I got to show you this thing. There was this meme on social media of Shedeur Sanders. So bad. So bad.
I think it comes down to how much Will Levis is good at hanging out, how much people like him. Because if you're a likable guy, then you can be a backup for a long time. But you got to be a fun guy, and you got to be okay with being a backup. Part of being a quarterback is being the alpha dog who doesn't let anybody beat him, and so that can be tough for
The meme
guys to
had,
do.
huh?
No, what are you saying?
The meme, the Shedeur Sanders meme. It's got like him sitting down for an interview with the coaches, and I think it's Dayball across. Dayball's like, so we're gonna watch this play, like, you know, tell me what you think about, like, what do you see here? Shadeur's like, I don't know, but I'm legendary. I'm legendary. It's legendary.
Know my name.
Know my name. It's legendary. Dayball's like, yeah.
It's just like next.
And then Dion's next to Shedeur. Oh, dude, it's bad. I did see something that Jackson Dart is lighting up the Giants mini camp.
That's what they say.
He came out guns blazing. But he's got such a challenge to get to the starting job over Wilson or even Jameis Winston. Like, geez.
It's also like we said, it's rookie minicamp where the people who are playing are like not
The rookies.
are not NFL players.
Yeah.
Like a few of them are,
Yeah.
but the majority of them are not.
Yeah. What are we at? What kind of time we got going here? 45 minutes? So one of the strongest issues, now that I've aired my grievances over the Chargers interior O-line, because I've spent a bit of time on that, as I should.
Right.
I don't hate Bradley Bozeman, okay? He's just old and I think he sucks, okay? No, he doesn't suck. He's just not good enough. I want an elite interior O-line, damn it. And I want it now.
Pound the table.
I want it now. Right now. Dude, the wide receiver depth chart for the Chargers is kind of gnarly. Because they drafted 2 more.
That's right. I forgot they took 2.
One of them really high. And we brought in Mike Williams. And last year, they rostered 7 receivers going into the season, but for the majority of the season, there was 6. And even into the playoffs, we ended up with like 5.
Right.
So the wide receiver slots moved around a little bit last year. And it usually was around 6. So if you do that, like you got Mike Williams. If we do it by slot, so you got Mike Williams or Trey Harris at X, that's 2 slots.
Which both of those guys are going to make the team. I
Yes.
mean, maybe Mike Williams gets cut. Maybe they just say he's too old and we're going younger. But until they have a proven X out there, I don't think you can cut him unless you see that Trey Harris is definitely the real deal.
Oh, Mike Williams is not getting cut. I don't think he's a cut camp. I mean, he would have to completely shit the bed at training camp. I just don't think it's possible for him to do that, though. You know?
I mean, he was pretty bad in Pittsburgh and New York.
I don't.
And he attributed that to not playing with his boy Herbert, but maybe it's that he's over the hill. We don't know.
I'm not going to push back on that. I feel like it's very hard to get a grade on him, like a good grade, you know?
Right, and I think the coaching staff is going to need the whole summer, but I don't think it's out of the realm.
Because here's the thing, too, right? Like okay, so his time with the Jets, he was still getting reps on the field. Like, you're not going to give a guy that sucks in training camp, you get him in there, and then you're like, oh. Like, he's not taking up reps on the field. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Teams don't allow people to take up space out there. So whatever he did in training camp...
Well, maybe you do if you're the Jets organization.
Huh?
The Jets organization is not.
Agreed. I agree.
But anyway, getting back to the list.
Or even Steelers. He was getting reps on the field. He didn't get a whole bunch with the Steelers, but he came in mid-season, too.
Right.
I don't know. It's really hard to say. That would be a shocking, because he stayed healthy. I really do think, like, that extra time getting healthy really, really does help.
Right.
with an
yeah.
injury like that.
He was kind of half injured.
You know,
Well, that-
versus trying to get back into it in the season, you're still actually kind of working that injury back. Like this, he should theoretically be able to just actually, if he's got that old self in him still, like we should be able to see it this season. If it's there or not.
Right. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if it's not there and they cut it. It's
Yeah.
one of those like an aging veteran, super fan favorite. You know, like everybody loves him, and all of a sudden you're just shocked
Right?
because you don't see the everyday practice that he lost a step.
Yeah. We'll see.
So anyway, back to the list.
I give it a 50-50 probability. I don't, either way, I don't see him being like a roster casualty though. Even if Trey Harris, so say Trey Harris comes in and just knocks everyone's socks off and they're like, dude, he's got to step on Mike.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
like this guy's getting 20 snaps, not Mike. Yeah, Mike's only getting 10.
Like,
now.
dude, Trey looks way better than Mike does.
Yeah.
Damn. You know, which could happen. It's possible. I mean, shit, that's what Ladd McConkey did last season.
Right.
He came in at training camp and it was like from the get, it was like Ladd's the guy. That happened in training camp. He was all just dominating training camp. It was all Ladd McConkey. And that carried through the whole season. Like there was not a day where people were like, oh, Ladd McConkey's not absolutely killing it. There was every day. It was Ladd McConkey is killing it. And then he gets in the games and he kills it. Like, so, and that's how the Chargers felt about Ladd when they drafted Ladd. There was a very similar mind frame of the way the Chargers were all glowing to get Ladd. Very similar with Trey. It was very, 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 very similar to last year in that regard.
Okay. So then, yeah, you got Ladd in the slot.
So you got Ladd, and then you got this guy, Adonde. What do they call him? Big Play Dre. Smith. So he was our 4th round pick or
He
something.
was the other wideout drafted.
So I don't see him. I don't think there's any possibility he does not make the roster because he was drafted this season.
Right.
So the guys on the bubble here are Darius Davis and Jalen Reagor. So you got Ladd and Smith, or Dre. We'll call him Dre. Okay. So we got Ladd and Dre. We got Mike and Trey. And there's 2 slots left. You got QJ.
Who again, also I feel like not a
Quentin
roster,
Johnson, yeah.
not a roster lock for different reasons than
So there's
Williams.
so
but-
there's 1 slot. Like say Quentin Johnson's gonna get the 5th slot, which I think he would. For sure. There's 1 slot left. And you got Darius Davis, who's our return guy, who's awesome. Everybody loves, they call him Didi. Everybody loves Didi.
Which you can keep an extra receiver if he's the special teams guy. Like, if he is the returner, that's how you end up with 6 receivers on the roster, you know?
Darius Davis is our return. You got to have a return guy because there's no way they want, Ladd's like the backup return guy. You don't want him taking those reps unless you
Agreed.
get in that situation.
Right. But I'm saying teams will usually keep 5 or 6 receivers, and it's okay if if they keep 6 if it's because one of the guys is really the return specialist.
Yeah. So the interesting thing here is Jalen Reagor was one of the few guys they signed to a multi-year deal.
This offseason?
Yeah. He's not just on a 1 year. They extended him. They signed him to a multi-year deal.
That's interesting, yeah.
Uh-huh. I think it was
That
2 years.
So that was before they drafted 2 receivers.
I remember that. They signed him to a contract this offseason. Wasn't a big one. It was a 2 year, like, okay, we're going to keep you on the roster. That's what it was. It was a roster deal. Like, we're going to keep you on the roster. You're going to you have a chance to prove yourself more, you know? So is Darius Davis, and then Brandon Rice, pretty sure he's going to lose his slot.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Brandon Rice had a...
I mean, Rager is the one that he was on the Patriots and he posted that like, why would you keep a Corvette in a trailer park, some shit.
Lamborghini, a Bugatti.
Yeah, Bugatti. And then he got traded. He eventually went to the Chargers. So,
I mean, Rager's a former first rounder.
Right. Who has all the speed in the world, but could never put it together for whatever reason.
For some reason, it's hard to say if he hasn't really quite gotten the fair shake. But whatever the Chargers saw out of him last year, they liked it.
Yeah, he played decent in limited spots for.
Oh man, he almost had a huge play.
Last year, yeah.
There was this one play where he caught the ball, and it got punched out right in front of the end zone. And it's not that he didn't secure it; like he made this fantastic catch. He got open, Herb dropped a bomb on him. He made a fantastic catch out on the boundary, out close next to the sideline. Like, it was everything that you're like, dude, this guy's a deep threat. Look at that. Boom. And he caught it, and then it got punched out. He was protecting the ball, too, the way he should. It's not like he was flinging the ball around like some of these wideouts do. Like, he had that thing tucked, but the DB made a fantastic play. Just perfect punch. Got a perfect punch on the ball right in front of the end zone. I don't really blame him on it, you know? When I watched film on it, I felt pretty strongly like this guy did his job, you know?
Yeah.
He did it really well. Feel bad for the guy because that was a huge play for him. And this guy wasn't getting that many snaps, you know? Like, you need those. You gotta, when you're on that snap bubble, like, you gotta make everything in those snaps.
Right. I mean, I could see the 4th round pick being a practice squad, game day call up guy.
I mean, that's definitely the element. You know, they have to weigh out who has the most likelihood of not being swooped up on waivers and making it to the practice squad. So Rice could definitely make it to the practice squad. I don't think they're too concerned with that. If Darius Davis has to try, like, that guy's getting swooped up on waivers. 1,000%. There's no way that guy would make it to the practice squad. I think you're right. Like, the 4th rounder.
Yeah, I mean, because
I also think I could see the Chargers doing what they did last year, where it's just like, you know what, fuck it, we'll carry 7 going into the season so that, you know? Because that's the game you're playing too. Like, okay, we just need to get into the season let things hash out, because there's going to be a blitz. There's always this kind of like frenzy for final roster cuts.
Right.
Where players come available that shouldn't come available, and there's teams ready to swoop.
Yeah. But that's why I'm saying a 4th round rookie draft pick on your practice squad is probably not going to get swooped up, because there's going to be so many other guys.
It's why I think that's exactly what the Chargers did last year with 7 receivers going in. It was like, they played this game of like, well, who on the team is most likely not to get swooped up on waivers? What position group? And what name?
Yeah.
Which solves it, because then you got Darius, and then you'll have Raygor. They're going to have to carry 7 going into the season. There's just no way they're going to put any of those guys on the waiver wire. Keenan Allen continues to be... Keenan Allen's not going to have a job. Nobody's picking that guy up. I loved Slayer, but it's done. He's dead to me. He's dead to me, man. I still stand by my theory that the Chargers handed him a reasonable extension to have him retire a Charger, and he said, kick rocks. I want $20 million a year at age 32, because I put up a good season last season.
Yep.
Which is fine. That's his prerogative, but you know what I really hate? I hate this narrative that the Chargers maybe didn't treat him well or something. Like, football is a business, dude. You offer a guy what the market dictates he should make. And when you're older, you don't make as much. It's not your history that with the legacy, it's what do you do for me this year and how much does it cost?
Yeah.
That's football. That's how you have a good team. It's not like, oh my God, you're a legacy player and everybody loves you, so let's pay you way more money than you should make.
Right. I mean, we don't know the whole situation, but it was, from our viewpoint, it looked pretty bad.
Huh?
I said, we don't know the whole situation and exactly how those talks went down, but from our view, it looked pretty bad.
Pretty bad on whose side? The Chargers or Allen?
On Keenan.
I think the mud's on Keenan's face, not the Chargers.
Yeah.
100%. Did you? I just found this out. This is kind of crazy, dude. The Chargers wanted to induct Rivers into their Ring of Honor. He declined.
As they should.
He declined.
What?
He fucking declined.
Damn, that's dirty.
That's what my DHBC group was saying. I was like, what? I didn't even know that.
Man, I told you for a long time he was a scumbag.
I don't get it.
He hates LA that much. He's like, until you move to back to San Diego, I'm not being on your wall. If he said that, then I'm okay with it, and then I'll change my view of him.
But I think that's another case where exactly that. Rivers is like, I was with the franchise my whole life. I put my heart, blood, and soul into it. At some point, there was some kind of misalignment where he's like, you owe me this. And they're like,
no, you're 33.
They're like, no, dude, yes, you're a Chargers great, but you're not great anymore. Your time's done.
As great as you were 5 years
Your time
ago.
is over. Yeah. Your time is over, man. And then he went to play the Colts for the Colts. Because I think he left. Did he leave and then the Chargers drafted Herbert and they were just going to start Tyrod Taylor?
Yeah, he left and they picked up Taylor. They were like, this is going to have to be our QB until we find another one. And then they happened to draft Herbert.
I wonder if it went down kind of like this, like the Chargers management was telling Rivers like, hey, we're going to draft a QB this year. We have the number 6 pick.
And there's a few QBs that are going to be
We're going to draft the new starter.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he was kind of like, fuck you guys. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah.
That's what seems like happened.
That could be.
Because I'm sure they told him, we intend to draft a QB this year. We're drafting your replacement.
That's what happened with Belichick and Brady.
Yeah, no, Brady didn't like it. Brady was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're going to draft my replacement?
I mean, he drafted his replacement a few times.
I'm still here.
Right. But then he left and they didn't have a replacement.
Yeah.
And now we are where we are.
Yeah. I really think that's the way it went down.
And that's why it's a business. As the team has to think about 5 years down the road.
That's exactly
Otherwise,
it.
like, what are we doing?
That's exactly it. I think they told Rivers, hey, Philip, we love you, but we've got the number 6 overall pick. In this class, dude, there's Joe Burrow, there's this kid Herbert we love, like there's Tua, like we're drafting our QB of the future. This draft. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? And we're going to sign you to a contract accordingly. Because you might not be the starter next season.
Right.
Like,
and probably definitely won't be in 2 years.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, you're in the hot seat a little bit, you know? Do you want to help this guy come up? And be willing to lose your starting slot. And do that with grace. And retire a Charger. And I think I could totally see Phil's the kind of competitor that was like, fuck you. No. I'm the starter.
And the shitty thing about that is, it's like, how much longer did Rivers really think he had in him? Like,
I think he had 2 more years. That was it.
In reality, he had 2 more years and they weren't that good.
Yeah.
But, you know, in his head at that moment in time, before the 2 years, you know, like, did he really think he had 5 years? And if they're going to draft a rookie, like, you're shortening my career by drafting my replacement right now?
I'm sure.
Like, or does he know that, like, man, I only got a year or 2 left anyway, so.
I wouldn't be shocked if he was like on the high side. Like, I've got another 5 left in me, you know? Because was Tom still playing?
Yeah, that was back in 2021, right?
I mean, if he's like, dude, Tom Brady's going, I'm still going. You know?
I mean, because he's like 8 years.
Rodgers is still going, like, I'm going.
He's like 7 years younger than Brady, right?
Rivers is, I think, if I'm recalling correctly, like Rivers was like my age. I'm pretty sure I'm like, I don't know, he's like 42 or 43, like we're almost the same age or something.
Okay, so he played till he was like 38.
Yeah, he had some more years. I mean, age-wise, he's a guy on the cusp. I mean, look at that. Flacco's still out there, dude.
But yeah, I mean, if he really doesn't want to be on the in their Ring of Honor or whatever,
But spiteful, right?
that's super spiteful. That means the talks were way dirtier. Than
Yeah,
we-
yeah,
we go
yeah,
about.
yeah. He's been a class act. He doesn't talk shit about the Chargers.
He didn't until now. Like, this is different.
But his actions do. You know what I'm saying? He's not saying it verbally to the press or anything. Like, yeah, fuck those guys in that organization. They did me wrong. Like, that's never come out of his mouth because he's classy like that. But his actions do speak, like, volumes about how he really feels. Like, dude, we were going to retire your number. Like, honor you, you know? Like, he's like, no. Wow, dude. Wow.
You should go get a plaque at Snapdragon.
Like, a lot of Chargers feel like Weddle was done dirty,
Yeah.
and I don't agree with that either.
I feel like, yeah,
Football is football.
seemed like a good team decision to move on from him.
Football is football, man.
I mean, in hindsight, it's like, yeah, he did have another half a season left, and he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. But he didn't play that whole season, did he?
Well, the Weddle went to the Ravens, though, for like 2-3 years. And was good. I think right when Andy Reid, Reid the safety, what's his name?
When Ed Reed retired.
He went, and I mean, Weddle was like, I think Weddle was in that, if I'm recalling correctly, I feel like Weddle had just hit like 30, and he had like Pro Bowl seasons under his belt. So he was under that extension there, you know, his second contract type thing, where they had already paid him really well once. But it's exactly what happened with Keenan, you know, in a way. Like, it's the good old, like, look what I've done for this organization. I want another good contract.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're 30 years old. Like, this is going to be probably your last contract. That's not what you're going to get. And he's like, well, fuck you. I'll go on the open market. And then he ends up playing for another team for the same amount of money. Because they didn't give him some crazy contract either. He went to the Ravens. The Ravens don't overpay, dude.
No.
I promise you, it wasn't a better like, it had to be in the ballpark, but because he's put in so much time with this organization, he feels he is owed more. He feels he's owed more than the market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some guys give hometown discounts, and some guys want hometown top dollar.
I mean, it happens. But it's super rare. I'm not saying it never happens where it's like a team kind of overpays just because. Right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's happened.
I mean, you overpay a free agent because of pure need when you need a spot. And he's the only guy left in free agency.
I mean, I agree.
But
If you're going to
usually-
overpay, do it with someone in-house that's earned it.
Yeah.
Don't do it with some stranger off the street that hasn't proven shit in your facility. Right?
But if you already got a younger, cheaper guy in line to take over, then no, you don't know that guy.
I'll take this a step further too, guys. We watch football because we love football. Okay, I'm going to go down this tangent right now. We watch football because we love football, not because we love owners of teams. Okay, fuck the owners. All they do is own a team. I'm not watching it for their benefit. I'm watching it for my benefit because I like watching football and I like having a team to root for. And yeah, it's nice if the owner's not a complete dickhead and railroads the organization like, you know, some of the more, like the Jets owner does, or
Spanos.
Or Spanos. I don't think Spanos, I don't put, like, I don't know.
I feel like as a Charger fan, you are in the bottom half of the league as far as ownership.
I wouldn't argue against that. I'm not going to argue against it. Bottom half of the league. I mean, actually, I can push back on that. They have spent in the top 10 of organizations spending money on the organization. They're probably one of a lot of NFL team owners are billionaires from businesses outside of the NFL.
Right.
The Spanos is, their wealth is in the team. They have some money outside of that, but it's largely in the team. They're one of the brokest owners in the league, I feel.
Because they need the team to make money.
That is the team is their business, their primary business. And objectively, they spent the 6th most in the NFL on the team. So that's like facilities and all the stuff that goes into rostering a good team and all the extra shit, expenses-wise. Expense-wise on their business, they spent the 6th most in the NFL. 6th most. You're talking about the Jerry Joneses, you're talking about the Krafts, like people that spend a lot of money on their organizations, okay? The Spanoses put their money where their mouth is. They've done that over the last 5 years.
While they've been in LA.
Not always. They didn't always do that. But the last 5 years they have. You know what? I'll say this. Jim Harbaugh, pretty sure he wouldn't have signed any papers with the if he didn't believe through and through that the owners weren't 1,000% bought in. If he felt he was going to get hamstringed by ownership on what he wants to do and how he wants to do it, like he's not signing fucking papers with you.
I agree.
I think that interview is as much as he's like, I'm going to have my own system and my own people. And boy, it costs so much money to do what he wanted them to do. If you weren't 100% in as owners, you wouldn't have done what they did, which is like fire everybody, pay off all these old college contracts to get everybody this new coach wants. You know what I mean? Like you are not spending that money on that.
Yeah.
If you're not 1,000% all in, going for broke, like let's do it. Let's have a winning team. Let's have the best team in LA. You're trying to go toe-to-toe with Kroenke, dude. Isn't Kroenke like Walmart money or some shit?
I mean, he's one of the richest owners in the league.
He's one of the richest owners in the NFL.
I think.
I know that. Like, you're not going toe-to-toe with Kroenke in LA if you don't think... You can't half-ass that. That's my point.
He's not going toe to toe. He's a tenant.
Yeah, but they're trying to win that LA market.
Yeah, there's landlord-tenant relationship there.
Alrighty. That's all we got for you.
Right.
Watch football for you, okay? It ain't about the Spanoses. Don't worry about those guys. Football is a business. Football is football. Good organizations are run a certain way, and they win championships, okay? Bill Belichick never, ever, 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 ever overpaid for some legacy player just because they deserved it.
No, he did not. He did.
Bill never, ever did that. Not even close. Matter of fact, if anybody's guilty of burning motherfuckers, it's Bill Belichick.
Right.
Like trading good players, like at the height of their stock, and just being cold as hell about it. Jeez.
Well, I know. That's why I thought they were right to do it with Rivers.
Yeah.
Well, 100%.
But guess what they did? Those guys won a lot of championships. Okay? You want to win? There it is. That's
Yeah.
how business is done in the NFL if you want to win, okay?
When you're winning, you can do no wrong.
All right, that's our episode for today.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bolt up! What do the Patriots say? Charger fans go, bolt up. Patriots fans do anything?
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Bye-bye now.